So JavaScript is a scripting language and it's an interpreter. It belongs to C family of languages. Most of the features in JavaScript are borrowed from the C language. Okay, purpose of JavaScript is different and C language is different. Only to make HTML pages interactive, we make actually the JavaScript is made. To have interaction more and more for the user. So, I mean, JavaScript actually is introduced into web pages. So JavaScript runs only within the web pages. It does not run outside the scope of actually web page. Sometimes you can use JavaScript within the PDF also. In the PDF, we can embed JavaScript. So sometimes we work with the JavaScript as well. Sorry, with the PDF as well, we do the JavaScript. Okay. And we have server-side coding also with the JavaScript that is called as Node.js. With that, you can develop, web servers. Okay, we call it as actually HTTP server. A web server is both hardware and software, whereas HTTP server is mostly software it is. So you can use it as a HTTP server also, Node.js. With that, you can build actually a HTTP server that can be serving our request, as we do with the Python Flask. Sometime back, we have seen an example with the Python Flask. In that case, that was actually web server, HTTP server. So that we host on a hardware. So complete HTTP server and the hardware, we can call it as a web server. So that is going to be serving our request. We have different types of methods: post method, get method, put method, delete method. So some of these are actually what save methods. Some of they are actually idempotent methods. Some of their actually cacheable methods. So like that, we have methods categorization. Apart from these four methods, there are other methods like head. Okay, few other methods also we have. They are useful in some cases, not every time actually, but as a full stack developer, you have to know about these four methods: put method, post method, get method, and delete method. Okay, so this was in last session. We have created here a function called add numbers. This is adding numbers. Okay, and using here document.get element by ID, we are retrieving value from the HTML element. Once again, when you look at actually the HTML page, this is containing three different parts. So first part is what here? It is related to CSS, cascading style sheets. So this is what here, element-based styling. This is here class-based styling, and this is called as here, it is ID-based styling. So style sheets you can create using an element name or using a class name or using actually an ID. So in the case of the element, for all elements in the given page, we can apply this. For example, you create multiple paragraphs. So for all the paragraphs, you can apply same thing. Okay. Similarly, when you go with the style class-based, a class-based style you can define using a dot followed by style name. Okay, so in such cases, same style you can apply with more than one element. Need not be of similar type of element. For example, you take P here, the P is applicable to only paragraph. Only with the paragraph these are applicable. Whereas when you go with the D style here, dot D style, I have defined here. So this style we can apply with div, with paragraph, with H1, H2 also, this can be applied. With different types of elements also, you can apply here this class-based style. Then you have here hash img1. This is ID based. That means only with one ID you can use it. You can create an element, you can assign an ID to that. With that element only you can use. So these are basically three types of styling here: class based, element based, and other one is ID based. All of you know about this. Okay. Then similarly for the body, I'm giving here a green background color. Green background we have given. Then we created some images here. Okay, so one is what style, second thing is script, third one is actually the body. In this, you create the HTML content using different types of elements, and every element has a starting tag and a closing tag. So like this, you are going to be structuring the page. Okay, a page is structured in this manner. Okay, yeah, just 1 minute. Yeah. Hello, Madhu. If you have an issue with the GoToMeeting, just close it and again start. Close and start, please. Okay, then it's going to be, if you want to record, you can record at your end. That's up to you. Okay. But you go through the channel, in the channel, you try to see it instead of recording at your end. Very quick, actually, your this thing will be getting filled up. So try to watch from that because it's better always. Okay. So now, by default, all these are actually static kind of elements. So once you create content, you cannot modify, you cannot change anything. But using JavaScript, if you want to change any content, you can change. If you want to change font size, you can change. If you want to change color, you can change. All of them are possible with the help of the JavaScript. So here, what we are doing, we created here something like first number, okay, it is Fn, ID is Fn. Similarly, second number, we are giving it as Sn, and we try to input some data into that. We enter numbers. Then upon actually clicking on the add button, it should calculate and it should give actually the result in the span element. We have to show in the span element. So span div, okay, similarly H1 to H6, paragraph, all these are nothing but they are here container elements. That means they can contain other elements inside that. They can contain other elements inside them. Even anchor tag is actually, anchor tag also can contain other elements inside that. So now in the span, you can actually have other elements or you can have the text. To embed other elements into that, you have to use the inner HTML, and to add text to the span, you need to go with the inner text. We are using same thing in this case. Okay, now in this example, suppose you click on the add numbers. I want to show that in the HTML format rather than on the text format. Here, what I do, I'm trying to add in this case simply the text. Inner text equal to parse int num1 plus parse int num2. The result I am trying to show like text. But instead of showing text, I want to show in this case like a HTML. Okay, I can go here with the HTML. Then I want to put some HTML data in this. So what I can do in such cases, I can go here with the like template string I can use. I was saying yesterday about the template string. So this is the template string. Then here, just want to go with the like inside this. I can once again write this as here like label. Label is one such element. Then I would like to go with here style. Okay, so here I put this as background color. Okay, background color. It's hyphen between background and color. Background color. I put colon, then followed by here. I want to write this as red color. I'm keeping as background color. Then color, I would like to set this as here like white. Okay, just I close this. The CSS I'm closing. Okay, then here it is. I want to use this as a template. I want to embed some variable here. I want to substitute with that value. So therefore, here I can go with the like dollar, then curly brackets like this I use. And inside this, I'm embedding it. Data I would like to embed in this manner here. Then after this, I have to close the template string in this manner. Okay, not there. And here I need to put it in the end. In the end, I should put actually the backtick. So using backtick, you can make like this. Okay, here write the result is like this. I want to go with the HTML now. Earlier, we tried with the simple text. We were using inner text. With inner text, we are doing it. But now we will go with the inner HTML, and with that we try to see this. Okay, so it is going to be third.html. And now I would like to run that. So here it is bootstrap examples. So in this, I created a file called third.html. I'm rendering it here. Okay. So I'm coming to this point here. In the bottom, I enter a number some 6 and followed by here it is 100. Then upon clicking on the add, it should show the data for us. But due to some reason, it's not showing. Let us find what is the reason. You can go to here in this case, more tools, into the developer tools. Okay. So it is actually not showing anything for us. Do we have any errors? We don't have any error, but nothing is getting rendered. Okay, document.get element by ID, result dot inner HTML equal to, I'm trying to embed here the label, but nothing is actually getting rendered now in this. Okay, even if you come down here, so nothing is shown us here. Somewhere it has to show the result for us, but not showing. Neither it is giving any error for us. It's not even giving any error. So in this function, whether we are calling it or not, let us see add numbers we have. Okay, it's add numbers. Okay, what I'm calling exactly when I go with the button here, when I click on the button, it is nothing but add numbers only I'm clicking on. When I go with the add, it is nothing but add numbers. Okay, but result I'm not getting in this case. If I go with the inner HTML, okay, it has to print this value. The problem in this case is I have written here the label like this. Okay, I haven't closed this here. The tag is not closed properly. Then at the end, I should come and again I need to put here. I need to put in this case label. Okay. The other label also I must be adding. The closing tag of the label I have to add. So here I haven't added, because of that it's giving actually, it's not showing any result for us. Then here go with this slash label, let us put and see how this is going to look. Just refresh this. After refreshing, I add here 4, then this is 100. Click on the add. In such cases, we are making this as a HTML now. Okay, for normal text, also you can give color, but this is what exactly, it is a label. Okay, so the label color also we change it, background color as well as foreground color, we have changed it, both of them in this. This is what exactly inner HTML, with that we do it. Either you can do with inner text or you can go with the inner HTML. Okay, to access elements of the document, you can use get element by ID. Sometimes what happens, it may contain more than one element. You can retrieve all the elements also using get elements by name or get element by tag name. So you can retrieve in that manner. But to retrieve an individual element, we have to use the ID. With the help of ID, we can retrieve that element, and if you want to assign any data to that, you can assign. If you want to change any style, you can change even the style for that. Okay, we can change the style for that. So this way what is happening, we are actually here embedding the inner HTML in the span. Initially it was empty. So using JavaScript, we modified it and we embedded some other HTML into that. So this is what exactly you can do with the JavaScript. It is interactive. So on the fly, if you want to change anything, you can do. On the fly, if you want to change something, you can change. So for this purpose, we use actually JavaScript. For interaction purpose, we use it very much. In the case of interaction, it may be validating the form, or it may be like changing color, changing font size. So many things actually you can do with that. You can do many things. So here, what I'm doing, I'm entering data. So that data I'm retrieving here into other variables. Here we have variables. Okay, what is that variable here? Where num1 equal to document dot get element by ID. Fn is what here? This is the name of this is the ID name. So ID dot value, this can retrieve whatever value you have in the input text box. Okay, but always it is going to be the string format. Num1 is going to be here, it's not number. Though you enter digits, it is going to be the string format. So that you have to convert into integer. Then only you can perform any arithmetic operations. Otherwise, you can't perform arithmetic operations. So in the last session, we were discussing about actually the, we have discussed about tokens. Then we were discussing about actually the operators. Okay, so we have operators like any other language in the JavaScript as well. We have plus operator, then minus operator, multiplication, then division. One more thing is here, remainder operation. Plus is for adding two numbers, minus is for subtracting first number from the second number. Star we use to multiply numbers. Similarly, percent we use for here, to find the remainder. Suppose you have 10 and you have 3. When you divide 10 with 3, remainder is going to be 1. Now for performing all arithmetic operations, we try to use some new function. Okay. And whenever you declare variables in a function, here what type of variable this is? It is actually variable which is available only within the this function. So this variable is local to this function. This variable is going to be local to this particular function. Whenever you work with JavaScript, there is going to be 3 different scopes for the variables. Okay, there are 3 scopes. One is what? Global scope. Second thing is local to the function or global within the function. And third one is block level. We have scope in 3 different ways. So first one is what? The variables what you declare globally, they are available in the entire document. Wherever you want to access, you can access that. But when you declare a variable within a function, it is available only in that function. Similarly, within the function, you may create a block. So within the block, if you declare a variable, only in that block that is available. Okay, now I demonstrate first of all the concept of actually the scope. Okay, so for that purpose, I want to write here some JavaScript code, and with that I try to demonstrate it. So here I just write a new function followed by here this is scope demo. I'm trying to demonstrate the scope of the variables. I put here some variable where, okay, so this is global equal to, I cannot use, so I just write GB equal to some 100 I put here. So this where GB equal to 100. So this is what global. Why it is global? Because I'm not writing inside any particular function. Okay, within the script block I'm writing here. So therefore this is a global. If you define a variable inside any function, that is going to be local. Otherwise, this is what exactly? It's a global variable. Where GB equal to 100, I have written here. Okay, now I can declare here a variable where followed by here LC equal to some 200. So this is going to be local to this particular function here. Okay, local to this particular function. Now here, I want to create some block of code. Using curly brackets, you can create a block of code. Okay, and inside this, I can declare a variable using let keyword. Let, this is what here, this is going to be BL, that means block level, equal to, I put some 300. At the same time, I can declare a variable where, okay, so this is again FL function level, this equal to here, I want to put 400. I'm trying to put here 400. Okay. Now I would like to print all the variables here in this. So for that purpose, I go with the console.log. Instead of printing on the screen, using console.log in the console window, you can print it. So console.log here. Then I go with the, I can here go with the tilde, I mean tilde, not tilde, backtick I can use. So using backtick, you can embed those variables in that. Right here, GB equal to, then put dollar, then followed by curly brackets. Then in this, you can put GB. Okay. Similarly, here, next thing I write LC, that is local, equal to here again dollar symbol, then put curly bracket. In this, you try to put here LC. Like LC, you can put this. Similarly, you can go with the BL equal to block level, that is. BL equal to, again put dollar here, then in the curly brackets, put this as here, BL. Okay, then you go with the comma. Then what you do here, try to go with the FL equal to here, write this as here. Okay, so what I want to do in this case, again, a dollar symbol. Then inside this, I put FL. Now everything should be getting printed for us without any difficulty upon calling the scope demo function. Okay, so here one more I can write here variable scope demonstration. Okay, like this, I'm defining here a log, console.log. It is going to be printing this particular string, followed by it's going to be printing this particular template string. So this template string is containing for us in this example a string GB equal to dollar followed by in curly brackets I put GB. Whatever value we have in the GB, that will be getting substituted here. Okay, so here you can mix both text as well as JavaScript within this. So here this is using actually like backtick. There are two names. One is what tilde, second thing is backtick. Okay, just below the escape key on the keyboard, you find it. Just below the, escape key, you have tilde character. To get tilde, you need to use shift and tilde, that particular key. If you want to just go with the backtick, in that case, just you can press it. Okay, now let me render this first of all, but to render this one, I need to call the scope demo function. Okay, I can call here a scope demo function. Within this, just I'm running this. What happens? See now. Okay, I'm going to refresh this here. What it's saying in this case, variable scope demonstration, GB equal to 100, LC equal to 200, BL equal to 300, FL equal to 400. It's printing like this. That means all the data is getting printed for us. If you see here, it's getting printed. Okay, we can see this clearly. It's getting printed for us. Fine. So now, next thing what I do, this is the function scope demo. I'm trying to print here in the same manner. Again, I try to print this the same string here in this. What will happen? See. Or one by one, I try to print. I try to print all the things in this case. Whether this prints or not, we can check. It's giving error here. BL is not defined. If you see, it is printing here error. BL is not defined. Okay, once again, let us visit the function scope demo. We declared a variable LC 200, BL is 300, FL is 400. All these variables we are defining within the scope demo except GB. So GB is what here? Global variable. I'm keeping such names there. Global variable 100. Local LC, this is local variable 200. BL is what? Block level variable. Block level meaning is what here? Within the curly brackets I'm defining. To declare a block level variable, we have to use the let keyword. And to declare normally a variable, we have to use their var keyword. Okay, so as long as the scope is not ending, the BL is available. But once you come out from the scope, BL will not be available to you here. I'm trying to print here BL, but BL is not available. So the scope for this is going to be only curly brackets. Within the curly brackets only, this variable is available. So this is called as here a local, scope block level variable. This is. The scope of the variable is only within the curly brackets. Once you come out from these curly brackets, this variable will not be available. Earlier in previous versions of JavaScript, we did not have this facility, but in recent versions, this has been introduced. Okay. Whenever you're talking about these variables, one is what global variable. That means in the entire document that is available. Okay. Here we have a scope demo. In this, we define totally three variables. One is LC, other one is BL, one more is FL. Okay. So LC we are declaring using var keyword. So this is available everywhere in the function, but outside the scope of function, this is not available again. Okay. Similarly, we have let BL equal to 300. So this is having a block level scope. Within the same function also, only within these curly brackets, it's available. When you come out from the curly brackets, it will not be available to you. It will not be available. So that's why we are getting here error in this. BL is not defined. It's saying here. So this variable is not available, saying like that. Okay. So, but what about the FL? FL again we declared using a var keyword. Again, this is going to be available anywhere within the scope demo function. Now here to print it, I remove here the BL and see what happens in this. I'm going to be, otherwise I try to comment this what happens, see here. Slash star followed by here star slash. What happens in such cases? Let us try to run this and see. Okay, same kind of problem we face even in this case now. Okay, though I put comments here, the comments are not working. So when I try to use that one, once again, I'm refreshing this. So it is not working. Now, let us remove this part in this and see. I'm trying to remove here block level kind of thing totally. Then try to see in this. So refresh this here. Now what it's saying, it's not giving any error. GB it is printing, LC it's printing, and FL also it's printing. Okay, it's printing both here, the GB, LC, and one more thing is what FL. So if you look at this, the variables are what? GB is global variable, LC is a local variable within the same function, and FL is also same variable within the function. But it is not actually a block level variable. Only BL is a block level variable. To define a block level variable, we have to use the let keyword. Okay, so GB is available in any function within the same document. Wherever you want to use, this is available because this is a global variable. We can call this as a global variable. Anywhere within the given document, it is available. So in every JavaScript function, this variable is going to be available to you. When it comes to here scope demo, what is happening here? Var LC equal to 200. So this is what it is a local variable in the function. Okay. Or you can say this as a global within the function. But whereas let BL equal to 300, this is going to be a block level variable only in the block that is available. When you go here with var FL equal to 400, so this is also a variable available in the entire function. That's why when you try to print here GB, LC, and FL, it is working properly. It is getting printed. The results you are getting in that case. Without any problem, it is actually getting. Now, next thing what we do, we try to here print after the function. Once function is ended, we try to print them. What happens now? See here. Okay, Control C, then here I try to print what will happen. See in that. Now try to again run this. So this time it gives error. LC is not defined, it's saying here. LC is not defined. Reason, LC is part of actually the scope demo, but where I'm printing here, outside the scope of the scope demo I'm printing. So therefore, LC is not available. FL also not available, it says. Suppose I remove here LC, then I try to print FL. In this case, it says now FL is not available. Okay, FL is not available now. It's going to say as it says FL is not defined, it's not available. Remove the FL as well here. So in such cases now, it should print without any problem, the GB. So GB is what here? It is a global variable now. It is printing 100. So like this, you have the scope of the variables. Okay, scope of the variables, a global scope, local within the function. Similarly, a variable available only within the curly brackets, that is called as block level scope. Okay, we have block level scope. Similarly, you have a global scope and scope only within the function. So LC you take, LC is available in the given function anywhere. Similarly, FL is available anywhere in the given function. BL is available only within the curly brackets. GB is available in anywhere in any function. It's available anywhere in any function. So this is called as here like global as well as local variables. GB is a global variable. LC is what here local within the function. BL is actually only the block level it's available. FL is available again in the same function. Wherever you want to use, you can use. But before declaring, you cannot use. After declaration, you can use. Okay, I am invoking the scope demo function here. And this is called as here a named function. We can call this as a named function. We can call this actually a named function. But sometimes you can define functions without any name also. Okay, you can declare a function without any name. Such functions are called as anonymous functions. You can declare anonymous functions. Okay, they don't have actually any name. Let us try to define such function here. Okay, I can go with this. Then I put here curly brackets, and in this, I'm defining here var some x equal to 100. Okay, x equal to 100. Okay, then followed by here console.log. It is x. Just I try to print here, and I want to invoke the function immediately. I would like to invoke the function immediately like this. So what I defined here, I put a semicolon here again. So this is, you can call this as actually anonymous function. Okay, just okay. So just we try to put in this manner. Now try to once again load the page. What will happen? See here. So when we try to see, it's not at all getting printed for us. It's not actually printing for us in this case. I'm trying to define here in this case a anonymous function. Okay, anonymous function is a function which doesn't have any name. We don't have any name, just we have only the function body. Just 1 minute. If it's not working, then what you do? Just go with the again restore go to meeting. That will not be an issue. I think you should not have any problem in such cases. You just it's not like that. Then in that case it works. It will work properly. It works. So no issue. It can work. Okay. Okay. Yes, restart. Restart, then that works. Okay, we can make that working. No issues. Okay. Restart, no problem. Video is available after that. Okay, now come to this anonymous function. So anonymous function can be defined like this. Anonymous function is nothing but nameless function. You don't have any name for that. Okay. So this is meant for actually holding the arguments of values. We don't have any arguments in this case. So I just start in this manner here. Okay. Now I'm going to invoke. This should be printing for us console.log x. Here the value of x is I print in this way, then invoke this function. What it says here, the value of x is 100. It's printing the value as here 100. The value of x is 100 here. So I'm printing here the value of x. Instead of printing separately, even you can use the template string. Again, let us see how to use the template string. Here go with the backtick. Then here use a dollar. Then in the curly brackets put x. The x can be getting printed. Now in this, but ending must be backtick. Like this you can use. And if you want to highlight these, you can highlight them using here double quotes. You can embed double quotes or single quotes in that. So here put a single quote and X is going to be getting printed with the single quotes now here in this. So once again, refresh it. So what it's saying now here, X you can highlight in single quote and 100 you are going to be highlighting in the double quotes. And this is called as here anonymous function. A function doesn't have any name here. This function doesn't have any name. So such functions are called as anonymous functions as well as they are arrow functions. We can call them as actually arrow functions. So arrow functions are simple. They have simple mechanism. Syntax is going to be very simple syntax. With that you can define the arrow functions. Okay. Even anonymous functions you can define something like this also. This is using arrow functions. Now suppose you want to here go with a variable where sum equal to, you can define here in this manner. I can go here with a comma b. Okay, I'll go here with the a comma b. And here I can put like this. This is what return here in this case a plus b. This can be returning a and b here. So where sum equal to ab I have written here. Okay, ab I have written, this goes to a plus b. So return a plus b, I have written, not return is not required here, just you can write here. So a plus b, this can be giving you here the a plus b value. This is for some purpose. Now you can here go with this, right in this case. Okay, sum, this is what exactly, here it is where sum equal to ab we have written. Now invoke the function here, sum in this manner. Let res equal to, I'll go here with the sum, then I can pass here parameters 10 comma 15. I can pass here 10 comma 15. Then here try to go with the console.log, try to print it. And this is here res. Like this, let us print. Now just try to run. So it says here console.log is not a function. It says here. So in the line number 25, we have a problem. So where is console.log? I am using here console.log. I am using here. When I try to print res, this is giving error for us. But why this is error? This has to print actually the result for us. In the line number 121, you have an error. Okay, line number 121, when I take here console.log, this has to be printing for us. Put a semicolon here, here also put semicolon, then see, is it giving any problem? We can find in that case. So it is printing 25, then what it says here, the value of x is here 100. Okay, so here I have defined a function called sum. So Here I'm passing, there is no function name. Straight away, we assign a value to a variable here. A function, we are assigning to variable here. Okay, so this is the unnamed function or anonymous function, but the result of the function we are giving to sum in this case. And you need to pass here two parameters, a comma b. This is. So this is a way of defining function. This is called as again anonymous function. So anonymous function value you are assigning to a variable there. So this is actually one way of doing. Okay, it's also one way of doing. Okay, sometimes what happens? Okay, here I may define like this here, where followed by here write p equal to, I can write product. This is the name of the function now. Product, sorry, where p equal to, not like this, where p equal to, I can define function in this manner using a function keyword. This is also nothing but anonymous function. Here I write a comma b. Then inside this, I can return here a multiplied with b. A multiplied with b. Like this, we do it. So this is also nothing but a function. Here write console.log. Then followed by, I invoke the p in this case, write it as 2 comma 5. So this must print for us 10 value. Put a semicolon after this. This has to print for us. Okay, then here after this, put a comma. Then single quote, we put something like this here. With this, you can understand product. Okay, so this way we defined here another function where p equal to function a comma b. There is no name for the function here. So this is also anonymous function with two parameters. We are defining a function with, without name. So such functions are called as anonymous functions. Anonymous functions you can define in different ways. So in the first case, what we do, we are using arrow mechanism. With the help of that, we do. This is called as here fat arrow functions, where sum equal to list of the parameters, whatever you want to pass, you are writing as a comma b goes to a plus b. So this is giving you here result as here a plus b. And this is what here where b equal to function a comma b, return a multiplied with b. So this is also a valid function. This is also anonymous function and this is also anonymous function. And this function we are assigning to variable. Okay, to invoke that, to make the function working, you have to call it. So p followed by here 2 comma 5. This is called as here invocation of the function. This is definition and this is invocation we are invoking. Similarly with the sum also, sum 10 comma 15 we are invoking, then we print in this case result. See how this works. It should print for us 10. Okay, it's printing here 10 followed by product. So like this, they are working. A function can be defined normally using a function keyword followed by name of the function. Then inside that, whatever code you want to write, you can write. JavaScript code, it's going to depend heavily on the functions. In response to some kind of actually button click or mouse move, okay, or something you draw on the screen. So in such case, you are going to call the functions. Small code blocks are called as functions. We are going to be calling in response to some kind of events which you perform on the screen. So in such case, we call actually the functions. And sometimes based on the time, it may be getting connected to some kind of remote API. From there, it may fetch data and automatically may render somewhere on the screen. So automatically also sometimes they work based on the timer. You have a timer mechanism. With the help of timer also, you can make it working. Now I show even a timer example. So with that, how it is working, you can see. Okay, how timer is going to work, we see, and how it's going to display some date on the screen. We can see even that. Okay, so periodically it's going to be working. It's called as timer. So if you take, for example, time, once for every 1 second, it has to change on the screen. So therefore, we are going to change that once for every 1 second with the help of the set interval. There is a function called set interval. It's a predefined function. With the help of that, you can invoke a function periodically once for say every 1000 milliseconds. Okay, so here this example is what first we defined a function, scope demo without any parameters. So we are invoking this function. This is called as function definition, and this is called as here function here invocation. Or this is function declaration. This is called as function invocation or calling the function. Okay, So similarly here what we do, we are defining another function, but this is anonymous function. That function we are assigning to a variable called sum. A variable called sum. Now to invoke the function, to invoke this anonymous function, you write like this. Let res equal to sum. We are passing parameters 10, 15. We are passing it as actually 10, 15. So when you call 10, 15, in that case, it's adding them and giving you the result. How much you get here? 15, you are getting the result. 25, you are getting as a result. Similarly, one more function we defined, but this is a named function, not named function, using function keyword. So this is called as fat arrow function, and this is what using function keyword also you can define. So this is here again anonymous function. There are three anonymous functions for us. One is what? Here AB goes to A plus B. Second thing is function A comma B, return A multiplied with B. One more anonymous function is this. This is anonymous function. We are not assigning to any variable, but immediately we are executing this. Immediately when you have to execute, you can write like this. Okay, so this is a anonymous function. You are not assigning to any variable, but immediately you are going to execute that. Okay, immediately when we have to execute, we define in this manner. So this is another anonymous function. So 4 anonymous functions we have written, and we have written one named function. So what is the named function here? It is scope demo is a named function. So like this here, we have defined. Okay, and functions can accept parameters. Functions can be accepting parameters here. So in this example, they are accepting A comma B as parameters. But at times, what happens exactly? A function may accept n number of arguments. It may accept actually n number of arguments, and sometimes we go with the default values as well. For example, we go with a concept called, here after this I define, okay, here I define a function. So that function is going to find the root of the given data. For example, you give 2 comma something like say 625 comma 4, it should give in this case 4th root. If you give 25 simply, it should give actually for us only square root. Okay, it should give actually square root. So let us define here function followed by root or nth root. I write here nth root. This is the name of the function. Then here I pass a variable called num, followed by this is here index. I'm passing here 2 parameters. I call this as nth root. Now here index equal to, by default, I want to assign some value to this one. Okay, 2 I write here. Then write simply like this, return. There is a library called math actually. Math dot. We have a POW. It is giving you power, followed by num. Then here you go with this 1 divided by here, in this case index. This can give you like root. It can give you root here. Suppose I go here and now try to print console.log. Here I write nth root, followed by I write 25. So what we expect in such cases, it should give us here 5. Now I go here with the console.log. Okay, console.log, I write here, followed by here, I give 81, then followed by, I want to find here 4th root. Okay, just this is nth root, followed by here, I give 81 comma 4. Like this I define. So in the first case, how much we have to get? The result must be for us. The result is going to be here in this case. It is actually 5. Okay. But here in this example, this result must be 3 for us. Because 4th root of the 81 is here 3. When you raise 3 4 times, you get 81. 3, 3 is 9, 3 is 27, 3 is 81. So the last one should give us actually 3. And prior to that, it should give actually 5 for us. So this is the function we have written. Function nth root num comma index equal to 2. And when you specify like this, this is called as your default value. And this is called as even optional parameter. This parameter is what here optional. If you want to pass, you can pass, otherwise you can omit. But if you pass, what happens? As per that, it's going to calculate. Otherwise, automatically takes a value 2. If you want to find out square root, just you give nth root followed by 25. It can give you 5. You are not passing in that case the second parameter, but it's going to take default value as 2 there. Okay, this is called as here default parameter. Next one, in the next case, what I do, nth root 81 comma 4. So I am passing 4 as actually here the second argument or second parameter. So what it does in that case, it's going to be raising 81 how many times? 1 by 4 times. So that gives you here 3 result. Run and see here what do we get in this. What it says in the first case, it says 5. In the next case, how much it says? 3 it is saying. When you raise 5 2 times, how much you get? 25. But when you raise 3 4 times, you get 81. So this is called as a function with the default values, default parameter values. Okay, or default arguments also we say. Num, the first argument is mandatory, compulsory, but second argument is what here? It is optional. Okay, it's nothing but actually optional. If you want to here go with that, you can go. Otherwise, you can actually omit it. Okay, so you can actually omit. Like this, you have actually a function you can declare. In that you can have a number of arguments. But if you want to make some argument, it should take default value. In such case, you have to define this as the last parameter. And whenever you invoke the function at that time, if you want to pass that parameter, you can pass. Otherwise, you can omit that. So in the first case, what I'm doing, I'm just calling with the 25. I'm not passing actually second argument. But when you go with the last one, I'm passing 81 as well as 4. So that is giving us actually 3 in that. It's going to give a value 3. So like this, you can define a function here with the default value for the argument. But there are certain conditions, certain rules you need to follow. So whatever parameter you are giving, you are declaring as default value parameter, so that must be the last argument in the list of arguments. Okay, that must be the last argument in the list of arguments. Then sometimes you can, without giving a value to that, you can actually invoke it. Okay, so when you invoke, automatically it's going to be taking whatever value assigned in the function declaration. So here it's going to be using 2 when I don't call actually, when I don't pass any second argument. Automatically it's going to be 5 in such cases. So this is called as your function with the default arguments. Default arguments for default value for the arguments. Or you can call them as actually optional parameters also. If you want to pass, you can pass. Otherwise, whatever value you gave there, it's going to take it. So like this, you can define a function with default values or with like normal parameters you can pass. In such case, you need to, whenever you invoke the function, you have to pass, you have to give all the parameter values. But in the case of the default, it's not mandatory. If you want to pass, you can pass. Otherwise, you can omit. But if you don't pass, automatically whatever you specify in the in the nth root, I have defined index equal to 2. So this value automatically will be taken by the function. And this is called as here parameter with the default value, or you can call this as a optional parameter. Okay, so like this, we can define a function. And there is one more mechanism to define functions. So that is going to be here with the rest parameters. Okay, we call that as actually rest params. So rest params are nothing like array, they are going to be taken. Okay, so here I define one more function here, like function followed by here find sum. Find sum, I write here followed by dot 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 nums. Like this, I can define here. So these are called as actually rest params. Okay, we can call them as actually rest params here. That means what? This function can accept n number of arguments here. There is no limitation on the number of arguments. It can accept n number of arguments. Sometimes 2, sometimes 3, sometimes 4, sometimes 5. They are not going to be fixed. Okay, they are not going to be fixed actually. So this we call as actually, spread operators also we say them. Okay, we can say them as spread operators as well. Dot 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 nums. Now we are going to be adding here given numbers. Then we can print the result. But in this example, what is happening is This is going to be sent like an array. It's going to be sent like an array. From array one by one value you can retrieve, we can add to the sum. Now here write where sum equal to some 0 initial value. Then you go here with the for loop. For like here v of nums, v of nums here. Then so for loop you should write like this here. For v of nums. Then here in this I can go with the sum equal to sum plus, here it is v. Like this we can take. So here let v of nums, let me write here. Let v of nums, then sum equal to sum plus v. Then here I can return sum. Return, this is what? Sum. I'm going to be returning sum here. Then after this I want to print console dot log. What is the name of the function here? Find sum is the name of the function. And here I can give the values like 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Similarly, this time I'm passing 5 arguments. So what should be the result? 7 plus 6, 13 plus 7, it is 20, 28 you get. So when you go with the find sum, in this case, you get actually 28. 2 plus 5, 7 plus 6, 13 plus 7, 20 plus 8, 28. In the same manner, this time I passed 5 arguments, but next I want to pass only 2 arguments. I want to go with the 2, 5 in that case. So in both the cases, that should be working for us. In the first case, you have to get 28. In the next case, you have to get actually here 7. So just again, try to run here this one. It says 28 and 7. So it says actually 28 and 7. So this is a function which can accept actually n number of arguments. Number of arguments are not fixed. For example, if you take here sum on the top, somewhere I have written the sum a comma b, this requires 2 arguments. But this one can take n number of arguments, this function. So this is called as a spread operator. And this is with this we can create here a function which can accept variable number of arguments. It can accept actually variable number of arguments. So this is called as here find sum. So here one by one we are printing. So this is what you have actually 3 types of for loops in this. Index based, then for off you have, and for in we have. In the case of for in, it can retrieve property values one by one. In the case of the for off, what happens? One by one value, it can retrieve from that. So there are 3, for loops, 3 variations of the for loop you have in the JavaScript. So here, fine. So here we are passing actually n number of arguments. Now I want to do some unit test kind of thing. I'm trying to perform some unit test here. I can go here with the console, then dot log, followed by here I write what function exactly. This is the function I use. Print in this case here is equal to, here it is 28. Otherwise function failed. I can print like this. So if this is true, it prints. Otherwise it says actually function failed. Now run and see this. What do we get? So it's printing actually here. Function failed, it's saying here. So this is what exactly find sum 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 I have taken. I'm trying to compare with that. So it is actually saying like function failed, but this is not actually, it's not failed actually in that case. So it is not actually failed in that case, but it cannot actually, yes. Okay, already we have opened this console, we opened. If you go with this here, once again, let me run this in this case. So true function failed, it says. Fine, I remove here in this case, function failed. Then let me run again this here. True, it is saying. Suppose if I put here like 30, what it does, it is going to be printing it as actually like false, it has to print for us. It's going to be printing, in that case, false for us. So when it is false, the function is not actually working properly. You can assume in that manner. You can assume that it is actually like whenever it is returning, in this case, a false value, it is actually failing. You can assume in that manner, either true or false. So here I have written, okay. So here I should not go with the like log, I should go with assert. Okay, assert I do here, then followed by, I can go with this, then I write function here, failed. I put like this, then try to run this. Assertion failed, function failed, it says. Now I go here with the 28. I go with 28, then in this case, assertion is not failed, you need to get message here. Okay, so it's not showing anything in that case because function is actually successfully running for us. This function is running successfully. So whatever function is failing, in that case, it can show. So we are trying to assert like this. This value must be equal to 28. Then in that case, what? It will not say anything. But whenever it's failing, so in such cases, it's going to be returning function failed. Like this, you can do even the unit testing here. So this is a way of unit testing actually JavaScript applications. Okay, but when you work with the React or Angular, you have actually there different types of test runners, you have test frameworks, you have with the help of that you can unit test them. But here in this case, with the help of the assert, you can do console.assert, find some 2, 5, 6, 7, 8 I have given. If that is equal to 28, it will not do anything. But if it is not 28, so in such cases, it says function failed message for us. Okay, again, you can see here in this case, I put 27 only. It's going to print function failed for us. Definitely, it's going to be failing because the result is for 28. So it says here assertion failed. Assertion failed, it's giving like this message for us. So whenever you define any function, whether that's working correct or not, first you need to test, then after that you can go with the integration of that. That means in the rest of the code, wherever you want to integrate the function, you can integrate. So once you define a function, first of all, you need to check that. Normally in the whenever you do any unit testing, first of all, you need to write the test cases. Okay. So initially the test cases fail, but upon modifying code, you are going to get the correct result. So once you get correct result, that means what your function actually had passed through the given test, then that can be integrated. So this is called as actually counter example. That means initially what we think everything is going to fail, we assume. When we test, definitely it fails. But as you modify the code, what happens? You start getting actually correct results. At the last, you get actually correct result. So therefore, the function succeeded. So this is actually going to avoid, much work from the testers. Otherwise, testers also have to test it. Okay, definitely you cannot replace them. But what happens is exactly to a great extent, the developer can write better code. So whenever you define any function, try to unit test it. When you unit test, in that case, you can actually get correct result whether the function with the intended purpose is working or not. If it's working with the intended purpose, then it's the correct function so that you can integrate with the rest of the code. I'm not talking about performance. It is just actually functionality wise. Functionality wise, it's correct or not, you are checking. Okay. So here we are asserting like that. Performance test is going to be again different thing. In the case of performance testing, you need to fine tune the code. Entire code has to be fine tuned. Okay, but first of all, functional requirements have to be met. So whether they are meeting or not. For example, if I give find sum, if I go with the 2, 5, 6, 7, 8, that should give you the 28 result. Because how many data you have? 2 is 1, 5 is 1, 7 plus 6, 13 plus 7, 20, then 28. So if that is equal to 28, then function is successful, otherwise it failed. So we are just testing for the functionality. This is called as functional testing also. So with the unit testing, you are going to do that. Once everything is successful, then you can integrate that with the code. Okay, like independent blocks only, first you need to write the code, like functions, you have to test them, whether when they are working fine, you integrate with the rest of the code. Even after integration also, you need to do again testing, that's called as integration testing. When you combine so many code blocks together, I mean, all of they are working like a gel team, they are working or not, you need to find. So therefore, writing such unit testing is very important. So using assert, you can actually unit test. Okay, so here we have done with the unit testing in this case. So find sum 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. If this is equal to 28, then this is fail. I mean, passing. Otherwise, it's failing. So like that, we need to do. So in today's session, we have covered about actually how to define a function, and we have seen the scope of the variables like global scope, local scope. Okay. Similarly, how to define a named function, how to define a, I mean, anonymous function, how to assign a function to variable. Okay, similarly, I mean, when you have written anonymous function, how to immediately execute, we have defined here. The last one is what here, a function with the default parameter value. And one more thing is a function which can accept actually n number of arguments. So that is nothing but here it is. The example is find sum. Okay, so this is here rest params also we say here. Okay, rest params we say. Also, this can be called as a spread operator. When you go with the dot dot dot, it's called as actual spread operator. So it is going to be spreading into so many values. Okay, so this in today's session, we have done those things. If you have any questions, just email me, I can respond. Because different teams, they are actually sending questions, I'm answering them. Sometimes even I'm going to call to them. Okay, and in this Zoom, many they are not attending due to some technical reasons. Actually, Zoom sometimes crashes. So they are going with the GoToMeeting. Some people they're joining with GoToMeeting through some other computer. We are doing it. And one more thing is like from Facebook also they're accessing. Okay, live Facebook live also we are doing it. Mostly from India, they joined in these sessions. Yeah, thank you.